little blueberry lemon goodness, GFUEL to start the episode because we got to get hydrated and energized and focused because it's another week, another episode of Sippin With Sin, the podcast where we talk about stuff and things and stuff that are important to everybody. It is the #1 podcast of such things. It's proven by scientists and people way more smarter than us, so don't question it. Just don't argue. But welcome back, another week, another episode. We appreciate you all being here, tuning in yet again. And we're going to welcome our one and only, our esteemed colleague, Mr. Christian, back for another episode.
How's it going? Feels good to be back. At the time of this recording, I'm officially a year older than I was the last time we recorded on the last episode. So I feel really old.
How's it feel?
And
How's it feel to be a year older?
I'll tell you what. It feels it's a catch-22. You know, it feels good to have survived another year, but also my body is just like slowly giving up on me. So that really sucks. But aside from that, man, it's good to be alive, I would say.
It's good to see another rotation around the sun. So quick complaining or not complaining. I don't really know what I'm trying to say. Yeah. I did not watch the video I sent you last week, the Garth Brooks locations, and I just now remembered it, and I'm mad at myself because I did not watch it.
That's actually hilarious.
Did you watch it?
I started watching it and didn't finish it, but it's in depth. It's in depth. It's
do you think there's any weight to it? There's no shot, right?
I don't think that it's but I am those people like frantically trying to keep it alive. So I will constantly be posting on my horror Twitter.
Oh my God.
Where the
You're just feeding into it.
It's just, I have to. It's too fun not to do it. And it's not actually hurting Garth Brooks from what I understand. Let's just go.
Any publicity is good publicity, right? So actually it's just getting his name out there more.
Yeah, if you're a celebrity, that's absolutely the case.
Another quick note before we get into how we like to start every episode. On the inside, commented on last week's episode that Christian summed up why he enjoyed Happy Death Day. It's a decent movie. He may stop and watch it if it's on TV one night, but wouldn't go out of my way to watch it. And he's also never seen Happy Death Day 2.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense, and it makes me feel like even more vindicated because Happy Death Day 1, it's exactly that. It's fun, man. It's good. You know what you're getting into. It's a pretty cool movie.
It's fun if you like to stick your wiener in a light socket.
Maybe for the second one, sure. The second one, just I
didn't watch the second
intention.
One. I was like, I had
no intention. I had no intention whatsoever to see. I want to see that filmmaker make other shit, which is what we were talking about. But
yeah, we can. I don't know. I'm skeptical. I hope he does good. I really do. I hope he doesn't just completely screw up because I really do feel like the last two Screams have been solid. I know the misses is kind of iffy on them, but I'm like, this is Scream. This is how it goes, and these have actually been pretty decent installments to me, at least. I've enjoyed them.
I've had time. I'm glad you brought that up real quick because I want to jump into this really fast before we go.
Christian's already complaining. We're not even going to get to segments. Christian rant 3 minutes into the podcast. You're welcome, listeners.
Here we go. So, looking back at Scream 5 and 6, right?
You got to fix your glasses for this, by the way.
The only problem that I had. So, listen. Let me put you on game real quick. Get your library card and check it out. So, with Scream 5, the only issue that I really, really have with that, I have two issues with that movie. One,
didn't you talk about this last week?
Maybe, but I'm doing it again.
Oh God,
Melissa Barrera, like the woman that plays the main character Sam, right? Her performance in one of the scenes I didn't like. It's the scene where she's like telling her sister Tara, about like, oh man, dad did this, or mom cheated on dad, and blah blah blah, and this. She's giving her speech at the fucking hospital. Like, I didn't care about that. I didn't feel anything. That scene in particular, I just didn't give a shit. I just wanted her to be done with her monologue so I can move on. I didn't really care for that. And then the second thing that I didn't really like about this is Amber. If you go back, spoilers if you haven't seen it. So one of the killers clearly did most of the work, right? And that was kind of annoying going back because she's like the smaller of the two and it doesn't make sense, but she was super, super, super stabby, which I kind of get, and it made the kills more like, more graphic. So I in hindsight, I liked it more, but the first time I saw it, I was like, that's kind of irritating. So we have that, right? The next one, the biggest problem I have with that, aside from them biting so hard from Scream 2, is that I actually just lost it. Oh, sorry, no, I didn't. It's just the deaths, dude. We didn't get enough people dying. The only character in that movie that I just absolutely didn't want to die was Chad. Like, cause he's my favorite character. Him, Chad and Mindy, I love them, but Chad was just he's so fucking likable that when he was getting fucking rocked, dude, by double Ghostface, I
We're
was
talking
just like,
about Cuba
damn.
Radio Jr.
Yeah, exactly.
Cuba Gooding Jr.'s son. Wow, what the hell's his
Yeah,
name?
dude.
What is it?
You'll have to look it up while I'm talking.
Oh my God.
He's
Cuba Gooding Jr.'s son though, right? Because they look,
yeah,
God, they look alike.
they look very similar. Dude, I just really, really like his character. So when I thought he was dead, I was like, oh shit, this sucks, dude. They're taking out the best character. Just kind of like in Scream 2. Yeah, Mason Gooding, thank you. But when they took him, when he was getting taken out, dude, I felt the same way I felt when they were taking out Randy in Scream 2. Like I was like, fuck, dude, they're repeating this again. And then they do the double knife wipe, dude. Like that shit was dope. I love that scene. I thought he was gone. But aside from that, dude, there wasn't enough. Not enough people didn't die in that movie. They reminded me of Scream.
You sound
3,
like me complaining about scary movies. Like there's not enough violence. It's not dark enough.
It was dark enough, and there was plenty of violence. They just enough people didn't die. That's the problem. Like everybody.
Is that something wrong with us? Because they're like the death count was too low. Not heavy. I need more loss.
It's just
in
like
my
everybody in the Scream franchise. They can take like 3 or 4 knife stabs and be fine. And it's just like you don't just casually get stabbed and live. Like, goddamn, not this way, not violently like this. But like I said, my favorite character lived, so I wasn't even mad about that. It's just the fact that everybody survived, and it's kind of irritating looking back. But yeah, dude, Scream has been one of the only franchises that's just been putting out good shit since it started. There are Scream films that aren't as good as others for sure, but like I haven't watched one that I hated. You know what I'm saying? I can't say that for other franchises. So
what, you love Halloween Ends?
I'll stab you through the fucking computer.
What, you don't want Michael riding on the back of a little motorcycle holding on till Corey?
Jesus Christ. That movie,
just hugging him while they have like a sweet montage of music playing as they cruise down the strip together.
Well, I'll just say this: I own
when I want to get good and pissed off this spooky season, I'm gonna watch Ends. Actually, I'm gonna watch Kills then Ends. So I'm just really mad as shit, just madder than hell, because that's gonna be what's gonna happen. I'm gonna watch it and I'm gonna be like, God, I want to punch something. Especially when we get to Ends and they just Michael's. I would like to know if there's a breakdown somewhere how much screen time he actually had, because
I'm sure there is.
Dude, it's got to be under 30 minutes.
I'm gonna look it up because I'm actually.
I'm gonna say. In that right now. I'm gonna say he's around 35 minutes. He's not in it much, and it's probably an hour and a half movie. What is the airtime on it? Actually, I don't even remember. I don't think I've watched it again since I watched it the first time.
And how long did you say he was in it? How long did you say he was in it?
35.
Are you ready to hear the actual answer of how long he was in? Is it gonna make me mad? Are you ready to hear the answer?
Let's hear it.
Michael Myers' prime was in Halloween Ends for a grand total of 10 minutes and 55 seconds.
How long is the movie?
I don't know, 2 hours and some change?
Hold on, I'm trying to. Where is the runtime? There is no way. You only had the running time is 111 minutes, so 9 minutes shy of 2 hours. So you're telling me we had 101 minutes of bullshit and 10 minutes of the shark, essentially. Mm-hmm. About to headbutt this microphone. This is about to happen. How much did this make?
But that's
budget 33 million, box office 105.4 million. God bless America.
With that said, let's hop into
piss me off already.
Let's hop into what you've been reading, watching.
All right, yeah, let's get into how we normally. Now that I'm nice and riled up, that backfired. what we like to do to start every episode is talk about what we've been watching, reading, listening to, or playing this past week. And since I'm nice and flustered, we're going to let Christian start and get into it while I sip upon this drink and cool off.
Not a problem at all. Not a problem at all. So it's been a light week for me. I did get to watch. Guys, I've been talking to you guys the last couple of weeks about a show that I really like called Warrior. Season 3 is available on Max right now. At the time of this recording, there are 9 episodes, but I've only watched 8 episodes. So I watched episode 8 at the beginning of this week, and I really enjoyed it. A lot of people died. Some backstabbing went down for sure, and the drama, just every episode, the drama just increases, and it grips you, dude. It makes you want to come back in. So if you haven't been watching Warrior, I've been championing that show for a long time. Do yourself a favor and watch Warrior. It is available on Max. If you don't have a subscription to Max, let me know, bro. Like, it's to the point to where I think everybody needs to see this shit, and I'm willing to do some things to get you to watch it. So definitely check out Warrior. Don't worry about it.
I just saw a piece of news, and I don't know if you saw it. Bloody Disgusting just reported, in the wake of last year's The Mean One Christmas horror movie, Werewolf Santa is howling its way into theaters later this year. Werewolf Santa. That's right. Those two words together that I never thought I would ever hear lumped together. Werewolf Santa. And the picture I'm seeing looks like I went to Spirit and grabbed a werewolf mask and put it on in a Santa suit.
Please show the screen for the people who are watching this on YouTube. Can't see it. We can't see it. There we go. Oh, Jesus. Oh, wow. That's terrible.
That's coming later this year. That'll go on your holiday time horror movies. What the hell movie did I watch last year that I liked? It was the Robot Santa.
Oh, damn. That movie was actually not bad.
No, I liked it. It was on Shudder, I think.
Shudder, yeah. That's back when I was still working Shudder, actually. I can't even. It was
what was that called?
Dang it.
It was like a mechanical Santa that was just killing everybody. It was like Terminator Santa. I can't think of what that's called. God bless.
It was like a Terminator. Christmas, Bloody Christmas.
Yeah, that movie is actually solid. Like, I'll watch it again this year, probably.
Yeah, I do want to watch another movie that's on Shudder right now called Wasera, the Bone Woman. I really want to check that out. So hopefully I have time for that.
Get back on task. We got sidetracked. I saw that and I couldn't pass it up. Good God, Werewolf Santa, howling its way to.
That's hilarious, by the way. But aside from that, guys, I did watch another episode of Snowfall. I am currently on season 1, episode 8 of Snowfall. The show is still great. I don't have too much to say about it. It's just a really good show. And if you are into shows like Breaking Bad, about people, Breaking Bad, getting into the drug business and whatnot, stuff like that. Narcos, stuff like that. Like, it's definitely a show for those types of viewers. And I guess myself, because I'm now that type of viewer. So definitely check out Snowfall if you can. That one is streaming on Hulu, I believe. I'm not the biggest Hulu fan in the world because the ads are killing me. And I know you can get a version of Hulu that doesn't have ads. I just don't want to pay that much money for it. But like I said, Snowfall is definitely worth it. It's really good. And then there's some things that I watched that I think we will both talk about at the same time. But aside from that, I have finally gotten time to play a game that I missed playing, that I've never actually beat, and that is Ghost of Tsushima. I did buy that during Amazon Prime Day, and I finally got to sink my teeth into it a little bit. So I've been playing that, and I love that game so much. If you guys haven't played Ghost of Tsushima, you're missing out, for one. And two, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful game.
Yeah.
The controls are fun. The story is good. Like, I really enjoy it.
What would you rate Ghost of Tsushima?
I give it a solid 9.
I would give it I would say a 9.5.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Like it's I have no qualms with the game.
Honestly,
Like you said, it's
9.5 probably. I mean, I want to give it a 10, but I'm trying not to be
yeah.
too. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying not to
If
be
you
that
said
guy,
a
but
10,
it's so good.
I can't really argue with you much. Like those out
Yeah.
there listening, if you're like, I give it a 10, you're not gonna get much pushback from me. I
Yeah.
platinumed
Like
it. I
it's
loved it.
definitely.
I enjoyed every second of playing it. I was engrossed. Wonderful, fantastic game.
I think once I play more of the game, like more of the game, more of the story, get more of the stuff, it'll probably go up to a 10. Honestly, I really, really, really like this game. I remember playing it when it came out years ago, and I never got to beat it because there was just a lot of stuff going on at the time. I was really busy, and the same is happening now. But I'm just trying to make time to play this game, and it's fantastic. I literally have no issues with it whatsoever. Like I said, I love the story. I love the graphics. I love the mechanics. I love the gameplay. I love the way that you level up in the game. I love how you level up in the game, the points you get, like everything about the game so far, I have enjoyed. So that's why I'm saying it's a 9 because I haven't done so much of the story. I've just been doing side missions and running around challenging people to showdowns and shit. Uh, I was feeling myself a little too much. I ran into this enemy stronghold that was like way stronger than the level that I currently obtained. I went in there and I killed a few people and I was feeling it, and then I just got straight murdered. Like it was bad. I got destroyed. So that let me know that I needed to train a little bit more and start leveling up using my points. But so far I love that game, and that's what I want to do more of. Like I just had a birthday, so I'm gonna do some festive stuff for that this weekend. But when I'm not doing that, I'm gonna be playing Ghost. So I can't wait to get back into it. And as far as reading goes, there are some things that I want to read that I currently have ready to go, but I just haven't pulled the trigger on reading those things yet. So once I get started reading that, I'll bring that up to the podcast, let you guys know what I think. But I want to start doing more book reviews, more movie reviews for sure on my TikTok, which we'll talk about at the end of the episode. But in order to do that, I got to watch some more shit and I got to read some more shit. So we're doing that. But other than that, there are a couple of movies that are out right now that I want to see. We have Barbie, I want to see. Oppenheimer, I want to see. Last Voyage of the Demeter just came out that I want to see. The Ninja Turtles movie came out that I want to see. So I have some choices for things to see as like a birthday treat myself. So I'll let you guys know on the next episode what I chose.
Yes, sir. And Voyage
What
of the
about you,
Meter got a
Sam?
review. I think he got 7s, like kind of
Sevens.
not like changing the mold or groundbreaking, but a solid movie. And that's all I wanted. Like I just want a solid
Exactly.
vampire Dracula movie.
Same. I wanted something solid. I wanted something good. I wanted something that I will remember a year later and watch again during the
Dracula,
spooky season.
you don't
So,
really need to do a lot to Dracula. You don't really have to change. It's worked for, God, dude, I don't even know how many years at this point, like when it was wrote. I mean, you don't have to really stretch it. You can, and I think this is cool that this is a different Dracula story we haven't seen on like cinema yet.
right. Absolutely.
So I mean
I agree.
that's a different enough, and then just give me Dracula being Dracula, and I'm cool.
Absolutely.
So that's it for your week.
That's about it for my week. What about yours, my friend?
My week continue to be plagued with internet issues, so that's fine. But I did get to I watched a couple things. I've watched quite a bit of Super Mario Brothers, because lately that's been Baby Sin's thing to go to. He's enjoying it, and I'm not mad at it. So we've been watching that, and the more I watch it, the more I like it. I don't really know why people shit on it. Like I know some people did. I think it's fun. I think it plays into a lot of the stuff from the various games. Nice little Easter eggs, and it's just a fun movie. Like I really do enjoy it, and I'm excited to see what they do next. I finished Twisted Metal. We knocked that out.
How was that?
So I have really been thinking about what I rated it. I'm gonna give it a 6.5.
Okay. Explain that.
The reason it would probably be a 6 or maybe even a 5.5, maybe as low as a 5.
Mm-hmm.
But what gives it that rating is Sweet Tooth. Solely Sweet Tooth. Sweet Tooth's every episode he's in kind of steals the show for me. And I'm more invested in him than anyone else in the show. Anthony Mackie, is that his name?
Yeah.
He is solid for what he does. He's funny. He's kind of goofy, quirky. You know, I don't really like his co-star much. I don't. There's something about her. It's kind of weird. The villains are okay. I think Neve Campbell. We didn't really get a lot of her. I'm assuming we'll get more of her next season because the way it's definitely set up for next season. And if you haven't watched Twisted Metal and you want to, go watch it on Peacock now. I think it was one of their highest rated comedy originals or something. So I'm sure they'll do another one.
Okay.
Quick spoiler. So if you haven't watched it, I mean, it's not really a big spoiler, but if you want to skip a few seconds ahead, pretty much they set up next season for the actual tournament. There was no tournament this time. You essentially got introduced to people like Sweet Tooth, Anthony Mackie's John Doe, which I believe is Roadkill's driver. I think. I could be wrong. Twister, Pit Viper. Who else do we see? Mr. Grimm. You see a picture of him. You see a picture of Axel. You see Mr. Slam. Like, just you kind of get introduced to the combatants that will be in the tournament per se, but you don't have the tournament. And Neve Campbell's kind of setting up for the tournament in the next one.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it could be interesting. Sweet Tooth, again, kind of steal the show. I would say 6.5, and that is boosted heavily because of Sweet Tooth. Will Arnett and Samoa Joe, I thought did good. He was interesting. He's goofy. He's funny. He's freaking psychotic and dark. Like, stuff will turn quick, and you're just like, okay. Like, we're all happy jokes, and then he'll just straight up hit somebody in the head with an axe, and you're like, oh, okay. Like, it's not, for what they had to work with, it's not like you had a story like a Metal Gear Solid or like, I just want to blank on stories. Like a Ghost of Tsushima. You don't have like this fleshed out story. It's this kind of combatants that go in a tournament, and then you win, you get one wish from Calypso. That's essentially, and then of course you have like their backstory-ish stuff. So it's not like a huge fleshed out story. So this was, I guess, giving a little backstory to the apocalypse and why it's like it is what it is and so forth and all that. But yeah, I would say 6.5. There was funny episodes. There was episodes where I'm like, I just want to kind of get done. And yeah, will I watch it again? I don't know. Maybe before season 2 to refresh, but probably not, honestly. So there's
that's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair. Yeah.
But as a fan of the games, I had to watch it.
Does it make you want to play the games again?
Oh yeah, I platinumed Twisted Metal 1, and I was playing Twisted Metal 2. I freaking love those games. They were kind of tricky and kind of hard. Freaking old games.
Those are games that I never got to like complete.
Dude, they were fun. They were fun.
Yeah.
So something else I watched, a little more serious note, was the Untold Johnny Manziel on Netflix. And if you don't know who Johnny Manziel is, which I don't know, do you know who Johnny Manziel is?
I do not.
Johnny Manziel was a Heisman-winning quarterback for Texas A&M, who has well documented. He got in trouble in college for signing autographs back when you couldn't do that for money. After winning the Heisman, and then he went pro and just stayed in trouble. Like, I think it was a Saturday night. He went to Vegas partying and then just didn't show up for the game the next day. Like, all kinds of stuff happened. And it pretty much goes into, like, all that, like, from his high school to college to pro. And it's, like, it's easy to not like the guy, but listening to some of the stuff, he was diagnosed with being bipolar.
Okay.
And the dude definitely he said at one point he went through, like, a $5 million bender. And his goal was to just get as bad as possible, like where he was doing awful, like drugs and drinking, everything he was doing just to get as bad as possible, where it made sense because he was going to kill himself. Like that was his ultimate goal. Like he already had it planned. He had bought the gun, and it just, as fate would have it, I think it malfunctioned or something happened, and it didn't. And then he was able to get help and rehab, and found out like he has bipolar and. It's crazy. It's a really good documentary, though. It's really interesting. I think it's like an hour and 12 minutes long. But I enjoy seeing that stuff, like the behind the scenes, all the things. And you definitely didn't see that side of Johnny. You know, if you watch like ESPN or you watch sports, you just saw the the guy that's getting ridiculed constantly, like Johnny Manziel's out, he got arrested for this, or he was in trouble for this, he was seen partying here, and like you just saw that side. You didn't see like more what's going on from the person, like why is this happening, kind of thing,
Yeah.
So it was interesting. It was definitely an interesting watch. Something I'm going to get to watch hopefully this week that I'm super excited for is the brand new Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse, right?
That's right.
And I'm super excited because I loved Into the Spider-Verse, so I'm super excited for Across the Spider-Verse. I'm hoping Baby Sin will like it with all the art. I really hope, because me and the missus love the first one, so I'm super stoked for that, and I'll let you guys know next week what I think about it. The last thing
Excited.
I've been into, I've played probably 3 days this week through internet issues, and that would be a game called Farlight 84. I, honest to God, knew nothing about this game. I'd heard stuff on Kick about it. I'd heard people really talking it up and saying it was fun. It was like a mixture of like Fortnite and Apex. It's a free-to-play game. It was, I think, on mobile first, and then it was ported to PC, to Steam and stuff. So I downloaded it. I was like, why not? We'll try it. Dude, that game is fun as hell. Like, I've had a blast on that game. Maybe it's because I'm on PC and I'm fighting people on mobile. I don't know, but that is a definite advantage of someone on a phone and mobile trying to fight somebody on PC on like mouse and keyboard. You're just shitting on people, and it makes you feel good. But it's fun. Like, it's a solid game, really fun. Trying to think what else. That's about it on gaming. Yeah, I think that's about it, except for what I watched today. Time of recording this.
Okay.
And that would be Kombat Kast 2. That's right.
That was all
MK1,
about.
baby. I have to say, the more I see, the more I want. And the more I need. And we're a little over a month away, I think, from MK being out. And I'm ready.
Okay.
Couple things. This was not on Kombat Kast. So a couple things before we get to Kombat Kast was a leak dropped recently. I forget what it come from. It was like Portuguese, I think, on it. But I think it showed the game case, the back, and it's no secret that they have removed Crips this game. There is no Crips in MK1. But what they showed on the back was something called, I think it said Invasion.
Invasion.
Yeah, and it was, pretty much is playing into the different, like, how do they work? Not worlds, but like, not eras. I'm trying to think of like how they labeled it. It was kind of like, it was almost like, what was it called? Multiverse in Injustice, like the worlds. But what I saw, it was like you were controlling a character and he was walking down a path, like a wooded path. So I'm guessing you go to different like area, worlds, whatever, and I guess you find Easter eggs that way. So like an open, I don't know. They haven't announced anything, and that's just a leak, so it could be complete BS and it could be photoshopped. But I did see that. They dropped a trailer during the Evo tournament, and it was called Banished, where they announced the character's Reptile, which is no shock because they have been teasing him forever. They announced Ashra, I think that's how you say her name, which is from Redemption. Let me double check that. I think she's from Redemption. So it's like 16 years since she's been out. No, Deception, sorry. She's from Deception. And she's a Netherrealm demon who has purged the evil from her soul, making her appear more angelic. She looks freaking sick. And then they also showed Havoc, who, let's see, I don't really know. Do you know what Havoc was in? He's another one that's come back. It's been like 16, 17 years or whatever. I think he was in the 3D era, but I don't know what game.
He was in 4, I think. It was 4.
But his trailer, when he come out, this dude straight up is punching somebody and rips his own arm off and starts beating the piss out of him with it. And I was like, okay. Like, he looks super sick. So you get Reptile, Havoc, and Ashra added. All of them looked amazing. I will say this right off the bat before we get into the Kombat Kast and stuff. This version of Reptile is my favorite version of Reptile we've got. Just pure appearance and how he's doing. Since probably like one of the original Reptiles. He's more of like
I
a
agree.
human ninja, but they are still paying ode to what they turned him into, where he was straight up lizard man. Where like he says, "This is my human form," because most don't want to see me in my true form, and he like shifts to his true form, which is like a big reptile lizard looking thing, and then he shifts back and he is back in like human green and black ninja suit. It's pretty freaking sick. Like, I really like it, and I'm excited. He looks really fun to play. Christian, thoughts on the 3 characters from the Banished trailer?
Yeah, Havoc, by the way, is from Deception. I thought it was Mortal Kombat 4, but he's from Deception.
So they're
I was wrong
both
on
from
that.
Deception. I know
Mhm.
they said today that it was like 16, 17 years that people haven't seen
Yeah.
these characters. So that's dope that they're bringing them back. Like, I'm for that. That's cool.
As far as the trailer, the Banished trailer that you were talking about, Reptile looks fucking sick, and he's probably, aside from Johnny, he's probably gonna be my main. I'm just gonna be honest. Like,
Wow.
no character impressed me as much as Reptile has so far.
Do you
when it
like
comes to
what they've
gameplay.
done with him as far as character design?
Dude? Aside, so
I love it.
there's 3
It's the
versions of
best to
Reptile
me
that I really
since
like. It's
one?
original Reptile was dope. There was Reptile from Mortal Kombat 3 or 4 that I really liked.
I just never
Then
got
this
into the full reptile, like the lizard man. Like they
Yeah.
took like I lost
like-
interest in him. He was a cool ninja. He was his own thing, and then they did that, and I was like, like I just don't even want to really play him. So now
Yeah,
I actually have
like-
the urge to play him again. I don't know. It's really stupid. Why?
I
But
feel like we talked about it on the last episode, but I think I mentioned that I needed a Reptile. What I wanted from NetherRealm was for them to bring me Reptile back in human form. Because I like that, and then being able to switch back and forth, or having like his fatality be Reptile, like in the lizard man form, like something like that. Maybe him having talons and like some kind of scales or whatever, but not a full reptile, so I could play him as the human ninja. Like I was saying that last episode.
some
I was
of his
talking about
attacks he
wanting all of the
shifts. I
ninjas.
think based on the gameplay we saw, like you'll do things that
Yeah.
he'll shift, like to do his acid ball and stuff like that. So that's pretty dope.
And that's exactly what I was getting at. Like I remember last week saying stuff like that. Like that's what I wanted for Reptile in the game, because I want the ninjas. Like I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm a fan of the ninjas in the Mortal Kombat games. So that's what I wanted. Ermac is the only exception. Ermac is one of the only ninja characters that I don't mind not looking like a straight ninja anymore, because I do like his newer design where he looks more like a hobbled together sorcerer kind of thing. So I enjoy that. But yeah, Reptile looks fucking sick. His specials look sick. The only thing I don't remember seeing is his fatality. I may have seen it, but
did you not see it? He did like a gator roll. Like he turned into the lizard form.
I did see it. I did see it. I
yeah,
did
it's
see it. I did see
pretty
it.
nasty.
But yeah, if you don't watch the trailers like directly from like NetherRealm, then you have to watch them on YouTube edited, which is annoying. So like if you don't catch it right away, then everything gets demonetized and stuff. So it's a kind of a bitch. You have to watch it on their stuff to see it. But to be honest, I haven't been trying to see everybody's fatalities right now because I want to see them when I'm playing the game. So
That's one of the things
trying
I
to,
do a lot. Like I love to do is I'll do story, and then I'll also go through and unlock everybody's fatalities, so I see everyone's fatality and stuff, because I like to experience them and like kind of react to them.
Yeah. So that's another. I probably purposely forgot some of it, to be honest. I did miss Smoke's gameplay for the Kombat Kast 2, which I'll honestly probably watch after we record. I have some stuff to do, some like birthday stuff I need to do after this, but I'll definitely watch that stuff in the meantime.
So just to
100%,
clarify and catch people up, we haven't talked about, but Kombat Kast 2 today, they pretty much talked about Evo. They talked about the Banished trailer, which we just talked about the characters. Some of the artwork, they had an art designer in there talking about like level design, which the level design looks awesome.
Oh, so good, dude. So this is the best.
They showed, you'll appreciate it. Like
design.
I'm excited for you to watch it because they show like even a top-down view of a level to showing like how they design it and the depth and everything. And I was like, damn, this is pretty sick. But then final thing they do is they go over a gameplay of Smoke, Ashura, and Garrus, who I don't think we've talked about. He's obviously a character, playable character. They're bringing him back.
Okay.
Um,
I'm excited. Like it all looks really good.
Smoke looks nasty. I can't lie. Smoke and his little dagger thing he has, dude, he's messing some people up. Garrus looks solid. If you're more of a grapple character, you like that kind of style. Garrus looks solid. Like he has, he had one. So Tyler Lansdowne was actually playing Garrus doing the demo, and he paired Garrus with Goro, and they were like, "Oh, do you like big guys?" He was like, "No, hear me out. I like my powerful big guys, but yes." He used Goro to do he calls it. I think it's called the omelet toss. It's one of his moves. So he jumps in, and even if you're crouching, Goro grabs you, throws you in the air, and then he jumped up with Garrus and was able to string together this wild air combo. And I was like, God dang, it looks good. It looked fun. Looked really, really fun.
That's the kind of stuff that I'm going to be into. I didn't play a lot of Garrus on the last Mortal Kombat just because the way that he grapples wasn't my favorite. And there was also so many other characters to learn and to play, and I played so much Johnny at that time that Garrus wasn't high on my priority list. But if you don't mind, I'd like to go over the character roster so far.
Yeah.
And then we can kind of give our thoughts on it as I go through if you'd like.
I would like to hear,
cool
once you do that, who at this time, once we go over the character roster, because obviously we'll have main characters, but for me, I usually have almost like a stable. And it's I have if I'm really about to try hard, you have your main, right? This is the one I'm about to sweat my balls off. You're about to get the full smoke. But then you usually have, for me, a couple characters that you're proficient with and you can play, and you're I can mix it up to get that variation. For you, maybe you have Johnny, or and then it was maybe Sonya, or down the line. And so once we go through it, at this point in time, out of the playable characters, I'd like to hear who give me your top three for your rotation, if you will.
Yeah, no problem. So let's go down the list. I remembered most of these, but I had to write them down. So I'm gonna go down my list here that I have on my computer, so I don't miss anybody. But you have Ashra, who they just announced. You have Baraka, Pierce, Havoc, Johnny Cage, Kenshi, Katana, Kung Lao, Li Mei, Liu Kang, Melina, Raiden, Rain, Reptile, Scorpion, Shang Tsung, if you pre-order, Smoke, Sub-Zero, Tanya. Those are the playable characters. And as far as the cameo characters go, we have Cyrax, which is a boo for me. Arius, Frost, which is also a boo for me. Goro, Jax, Kano, Kung Lao, Serena, Scorpion, Sector, Sonya Blade, which is another boo for me, Striker, and Sub-Zero. And then for the combat pack, the first one that comes out, if you that earlier, download it when it drops. The extra characters you get that are playable are Ermac, Homelander, Peacemaker, Omni-Man, Quan Chi, and Takeda. And then I'll talk about separately, but to talk about the main roster characters, 3 characters I think that are going to be in my main lineup as of right now. The characters that I believe that I'm going to play the most. Obviously, we know I'm going to play a lot of Johnny Cage. So Johnny's number 1. Reptile is number 2. And the third character that I think I'm going to play the most with right now is actually Melina.
Okay.
So far, those are my top 3.
All right, my top 3 right now: Kenshi, no surprise. Kenshi, Smoke looks really good. Honestly, I'm gonna have to get my hands on. No, I'm gonna say Smoke still. We're gonna put Smoke there, and then this is all gonna keep changing until we get to fully play it. But at this particular time, I'm gonna say Havoc. But Ashra's right there because I don't know. Yeah. So I'm going to say those are mine at the moment.
I can't really speak to the cameo characters because I know that
cameo will be
serve a purpose.
Mix and match. I think it'll be also who you're playing against and what they have, like strengths and weaknesses.
Exactly. Now, without seeing these characters, just hearing the names of them, The combat pack characters that I think that I'll play the most with are going to be Homelander and Quan Chi. No, not Homelander. I'm so sorry. Omni-Man and Quan Chi, because I actually really like Quan Chi in a lot of the other games. If you learn how to string his combos, then they're fun. I don't know how they'll make him in this one. I'll probably play with Takeda as well, but Takeda
That's
is
a really
such
good
a
combat
fan
pack,
favorite.
I have to say.
Yeah,
Like
it is.
that's a really, really strong combat pack.
Takeda is such a strong character, such a fan favorite that I highly doubt I'll play with him a lot because people will play with him so much that it'll turn me off to playing with him. But I'll definitely play Omni Man. I'll definitely play Quan Chi and Homelander, Ermac. Like obviously, I'm going to play with all of these characters. Peacemaker. Like I'll play with every single one of them. But out the gates, without seeing what they look like really in gameplay, like without seeing their move sets, I'm thinking Omni Man and Quan Chi will be the ones that I lean towards the most just right out the gates.
Okay.
But Ermac was also a guy that I would play with every now and then. That was really, really fun. So we'll see what happens. But I really like the combat pack, the first one. I know there's supposed to be more, but by the time they release Combat Pack 2, I don't even know how often we'll be playing Mortal Kombat at that time because they released them in such long sections from each other. So we'll get this Combat Pack when it drops, and then another 6 months we'll get the next Combat Pack, then 6 months we'll get the next Combat Pack. I hope they do it a little faster than that, but because they want this game to have content coming out for the next, I want to say 2 years, I think it was, we'll get them very slowly. And just judging on how we used to get combat packs anyway, they come out
Which
really
I don't
slowly and
think
they take their
didn't
time.
combat packs only used to have 3 people.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, they're giving us
6, I think.
So I mean, they're doubling up on the amount of characters. So I imagine it will be a probably 6 month because you get double the pleasure.
Yeah. And like I said, the roster is looking pretty stacked right now. Like it's not that it has so many characters. It's just that the characters that they have chosen to put in the game are pretty strong. Like looking at the list right now, there are characters that I would sub out for others. Like Garrus isn't a character that I would want to bring back. Baraka isn't my favorite personally, so he's somebody that I would probably sub out. But with that said, I'm going to contradict myself here because they're starting over again, and Liu Kane's like godly form is redoing the universe. It does make a lot of sense that Baraka is in this game, and his story intertwines with Melina this time around. So that makes sense to me. And then another character that I'm
super
thinking that I
excited for the
wouldn't
story
want.
mode. What little bits we've seen in
Yeah.
the trailer, like they usually crush it on story modes, whether it be Injustice or Mortal Kombat. Like I feel like there's story in a fighting game. I know that sounds really dumb to a lot of people because you don't play a fighting game for story, but NetherRealm usually knocks it out of the park story wise. It's usually a good story that I enjoy.
I mean, I agree with you. I have no problems with that for sure.
Yeah.
Hey man, I'm excited to get my hands on the game. Excited
I think
to play.
around a week or so, the 18th, there will be the beta will be coming out. So if you pre-order, you get access to the beta. And I forget what characters it is. It's not a huge list. I think it's like Kenshi, Sub-Zero, Lee May might be in it. I think it's like 6 characters, like 2 or 3 stages.
Cool. I'll definitely pre-order. Try to get the beta as well for sure. I don't know how much I'll be able to play the beta just because of life.
Yeah.
But I'll play as much as I possibly can, and I'm not looking to turn any heads with my gameplay. I just want to experience the game to see.
I just want to see what it feels like mainly.
Yeah. I want to see what it feels like, and I want to see what it is like to use the cameos because maybe I won't complain as much. We'll see though.
I'm very excited. I swear, the more I see it, and the more I'm seeing stuff, and the closer we're getting, the more pumped I am for the game. And I can't wait to create content around it. I'm definitely going to do community fight nights. I love doing like towers and stuff like that, and of course the story and everything. And I always spend a lot of time doing that, but I really do look forward to doing like King of the Hills and stuff like that on Kick and just letting people go at it. And even, if I'm out and just spectating viewers and community members fighting, I think it'll be an absolute blast to sit there and just kind of talk about it. Like I think it'll just be a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's about
Yeah,
it
man.
for this episode, isn't it?
That's
We have
about
anything
done.
else?
Yeah, that was it. I
That
think
was
we
it?
went over
All right.
everything.
Well, it's time, ladies and gentlemen. It's time that we
Pass the whiskey.
That's right. Get your
Whiskey.
as we go to our last call question of the week. Christian, I think you got something for us?
I did. I remember bringing it up earlier. It's like starting to lose my literally jump out of my brain, and I'm trying to remember what it was.
Oh my God, this
It's
guy.
so ridiculous. Like, I had been thinking about it the whole time. What was the question? That's crazy. Do you remember what it was?
I do remember it was.
Okay, let's hear it
Listen
because
to this.
it's literally
Here we
escaping
go.
my brain.
Co-host over here just dropping the ball.
Dude, I don't know what happened, but my brain is
Worst cinema
birthday mode.
experiences. Bad cinema stories.
That's what it. Thank you. Cinema going experience. Like, please tell, because I know that you have one, and I know it's going to be funny. I don't know what the story is.
Okay,
but
I will
need to
start
hear
with
this.
runner-up.
Okay.
Runner-up story. I went to watch Halloween 2018. And I'm sitting in the theater. And I understand that not everybody pays attention and knows the Halloween franchise and the stuff and the lore. I get it. But there were so many dumbass comments made behind me that I literally kept just like putting my hands on my face and just being like, sweet baby Jesus, help him. Help him.
Help him.
What was it? Someone yelled, "That's your sister." And I was like, Jesus Christ, they just addressed that. And like, they would just say a lot of really dumb shit. Then I would look at my wife and I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Like, are we that dumb? Like, come on. So that gets a runner-up because it was just, the whole time, it was just definitely taken away from the experience. Best, worst cinema experience. So let me start this by saying I was oblivious to the fact of a worldwide phenomenon. Oblivious. It was running rampant, apparently, in pop culture. Didn't know dick about it. Not a single thing. And that would be Twilight. I didn't know shit about Twilight. Nothing. Didn't know it was books. Didn't know nothing. So this trailer comes on TV. And it's a vampire, and he's stopping a car with his hand. And for me, like, the first time I saw it, I was like, is this like Underworld-ish? Sort of? And I was like, I could watch an Underworld movie. Girl I was dating at the time did not like horror movies. Her sister did not like horror movies. Red flag should have went off when my girlfriend at the time was like, I would go watch that with you. And I was like, you want to watch a vampire movie? You want to watch scary stuff? So I'm excited as hell. I should have, in retrospect, I should have been like, there's a reason she wants to see this because it's not, yeah. And then her sister's like, yeah, I'll go watch it too. And I was like, oh shit, everybody's going to watch a scary movie with me? Let's go. I'm so excited. So we get in the theater. Great. I know nothing about this. We start watching this movie and we are in it. Whenever he sparkles, I audibly in the theater said, you have got to be fucking shitting me. In the theater. And people started laughing, and she's like, what? And I was like, vampires don't fucking sparkle. I was so mad. So mad. And they were like, yes, it does. It's a love story. I'm like, no. I complained the whole way home, through dinner, everything. I complained about that movie. I was so mad. They're like, oh, it's so good. And I was like, that was garbage. I was like, I'd rather stick my wiener in the door and slam it than watch that. I was so mad. I was so mad for that movie.
Go out and play. You didn't like watching them go out and play. Was it baseball during a thunderstorm or whatever?
I was so mad.
Like that.
And then afterwards, you're like, yeah, you didn't know there was a bunch of books, and I was like, no. Why would I know there's a book about a sparkling vampire? Like, no, I wouldn't know that. And they're like, yeah, it's so good. And I'm like, oh my God.
Oh jeez.
I was so heated.
I did.
Because I go in thinking Underworld, crazy, like, we're going to have cool vampire stuff. And this dude's up here climbing the tree like a spider monkey, jumping around, drinking beer, sparkling. I'm like, man, get out of here. Go on.
It sounded like you said drinking beer, but you said drinking deer, correct?
Yeah. God
Oh my God,
bless.
that's
That movie
funny.
still makes me angry. It
That's
it it
hilarious.
has to
Oh my
be up
God.
there with Halloween Ends.
Jesus.
That would be up there too, but I wasn't actually in a theater for that one. We
Okay.
played that one on a projector, and we all
Yeah,
watched it for the first
I
time.
didn't watch that one in theaters. I will say, however,
But the best part of that was you've met one of my buddies that's a big Michael fan. Me and him were sitting beside each other watching it. At the end, he goes, "What the shit was that?" And that was the best part of the whole movie. After she's like, "What the shit was that?"
just pissed off, dude. Just pissed. I I love that story for me because one, it's hilarious, but two, like just hearing the bad, the amount of garbage you go through sometimes watching films because not everybody pays attention to trailers because you don't want to ruin the movie for yourself. Blah blah blah. Like I totally
So
get it.
at this time, this
So
is you could. I don't think the Netflix streaming service. This is how it was. You had to order the disc back then.
yeah, yeah, I remember when you have to get
And
the
I
disc
don't
from
know.
Netflix.
I guess I just wasn't watching like cable TV and stuff to know what the shit was going on. Because I knew nothing about this, and I saw one trailer and I was like, okay. And then, like I said, I should have been a red flag when they wanted to watch it because they would not watch anything scary with me, like ever. And that I was just like, God, they set me
There's
up.
there's a couple of movies that I've seen that I've had really shitty experiences with, whether it's because the movie really disappointed me or the crowd really disappointed me, and I can't just pick one necessarily. So I'm
Crowds
gonna
can
do a
ruin
couple.
stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna do a couple kind of like you did. First one, I'm a giant fan of Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I remember when that movie was coming out, I was so fucking hyped. I was like, oh my God, we're getting this live action. We get to see Aang in theaters. We get to see him enter the Avatar stuff. We get to see all this. And the whole first movie is gonna be like a part of book one, right? A part of book one. We get into theaters, me and my homies, man, and their mom. We go see this movie. She doesn't know a whole lot about it because she hasn't watched the show. But me and the youngest of the group watched the entirety of the show, love it, couldn't wait to go see this shit. We were so fucking pumped. We go see this on the midnight showing for this movie. And that was back when going to midnight showings was like a brand new thing to go do. It wasn't like a part of the culture yet, pop culture yet. So we went to go see this movie after rewatching the entirety of book one. And I just remember being so fucking disappointed and pissed off. Aang, his name was Ong in this movie because M. Night Shyamalan's a fucking idiot and wanted and said that that's how you would pronounce his name because it's two A's. And I was like, but it's not how you pronounce his name because you're not the writer of this. It's already been established as Aang. Why are we changing it for the movie? I remember seeing the guy from Slumdog Millionaire. He was supposed to be Zuko, and I was like, sure, let's go for it. I'm into it. He just had like really rushed lines. His scar looked weird. The CGI was terrible. Firebenders needed to have fire around them in order to bend fire. They didn't create their own fire. Aang was trash. Well, Ong, I guess, was just not fun to watch. Sokka's name got changed to Sokka for some reason. Katara was like white as hell, and that wasn't fun to watch. Her character was boring. Waterbending looked stupid. The Earthbenders were also trash, and they would do all of these like katas and stuff, and then a rock would just kind of slowly float across the screen, and then me and my buddy Justice were watching this, and we leaned over to each other and we're like, if this movie ends with a giant wave, not the water spirit that's supposed to come up at the end of the book one season or whatever, I'm gonna be even more pissed. And we get the movie, and Ong, excuse me, enters the Avatar state, and it's just a giant fucking wave that crashes and destroys the Fire Nation, and then the movie's over. And I was like, this movie was a flaming bag of shit, and I just stepped in it. So now I have boo boo shoes, and I did this to myself. That's how I felt. I was so fucking pissed. So fucking pissed going to see the movie. And I've seen some bad movies in theater.
Uh-oh. Might have lost Christian. He might have disappeared into the Matrix. He was so mad about that movie, he disappeared into the Matrix, folks. Oh, I think we did lose him for a second. I've actually... oh, there he comes. I've actually never seen that movie.
Yeah. You never seen what, Green Lantern?
No, Airbender.
The Avatar movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so bad, dude. But that's the first one. I won't dwell anymore. It's the spirit's trash. A recent movie that I saw that I had a really bad experience seeing because of the audience was actually Scream 6. Even though I really liked that film, the audience that I was sitting with Scream 6 was awful. They were talking the whole time, goofing off, running back and forth in the theater. People were on their fucking cell phones, turning their flashlights on. There was this fucking guy beside me that probably had COVID that was just like the whole movie. And he was hacking up his fucking, he was old as shit. He smelled like old cigarettes and fucking a 40 ounce. And he was with his, I'm assuming, wife. And they were just talking the whole movie. He was telling her about the entirety of the Scream franchise, but really bad. And that's a pet peeve of mine anyway. When somebody's explaining like horror movie lore and it's wrong, it just fucking triggers me. Just pissed off.
Oh,
good. And he's like, dude, it
that's great to know for spooky season. I can't wait to badly describe a horror movie. Just
you don't do this.
Just to piss you off. Today's episode, we're going to talk about Dream Warriors. And just
don't fucking do this. So he's over here to my right. Like it's me and my partner, and then we have them, and they're coughing and talking. And every time like Skeet Ulrich like has a cameo in the film or whatever. Sorry for spoilers. And he's talking to the main character, and he's like, "Get her, daddy! Yeah, show her the way, daddy!" And I was like, "Shut the fuck up, you country son of a bitch! I'm gonna stab you in the heart." Like I hated this guy. And then there's a guy over here who came in with like fucking actual like McDonald's. Like they came in with like fucking Taco Bell. They like opened up their Taco Bell bags, and it's just like they're like making tacos and like goofing off and shit. And I almost hit this guy. But my partner would like grab my arm and was like, "No, don't do this." Because I was getting ready to get up and punch this dude clean in
cinema
his mouth.
etiquette.
Because I was so pissed.
Some people,
dude, I was
it's so
pissed.
bad.
And they just kind of ruined that experience for me. I liked the movie, but the people in there, dude, I wanted to just set the theater on fire and just watch everybody just burn because they sucked. But aside from that, man, like, more, but we'll just keep it at those two because those were the first two that popped in my head. But yeah, man, people can ruin a good movie, and a good movie could ruin an experience of going to see a movie. So yeah, that's how that goes.
This scene in Halloween, I remember she just kept looking at me every time they would say something stupid, and I would look at her like, I want to say something so bad, but I'm like, God. And she'd be just like, let it go. I'm like,
it really sucks. I will say really quick, I'll say this because you were in 2018. There's a part in Halloween 2018 when Dr. Sartain stabs the cop with like a knife, and then excuse my language, everyone. Excuse my language to Cast, to Houston, to everybody listening, to Gilded, everyone. But here's the thing: when he stabbed the boy with the penknife, I looked over to my fucking partner. This is like the first movie we'd ever seen together in theaters, like as a couple. So I look over to her and I said, "Does this nigga got a penknife?" And shit, like my voice like cracked like that. And she started laughing and she was like, "This motherfucker pulled out a penknife and stabbed somebody. What's happening?" And like during that scene, we're just like, "What's going on?" Like it was fucking insane. And then he puts the mask on and we both look at each other. Fuck, and please don't be the movie. Please don't let this be what's gonna happen in the movie. I'm gonna be so fucking mad. And like that's not what happens. Like Michael comes back, kills the guy, takes his mask back, and then I enjoy the rest of the movie. But that one scene where he stabs the sheriff or whatever, I was like, "Oh, this nigga got a penknife?" I couldn't believe it. I couldn't fucking believe it. It shocked me. And that was my legitimate reaction. And there was like a couple beside us on the left and a couple and they started laughing at me. It's like everybody in this theater is white as hell. I'm like the only black dude. And I say that, and they're just like, "Oh my god, can I laugh?" And I was just taken aback. I was so into the movie that's just what happened. But yeah, man, that was my experience for Halloween 2018. I said that, and now it's like a running gag in my house, so it's really funny.
Oh my god.
She'll be like, "Did this motherfucker got a penknife?" It's just really funny. But yeah, I thought I'd share that with the class, and now you guys know what it's like, a day in the life of Christian, of me. That's what happens.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode, ladies and gentlemen. If you'd like your question to be featured in the last call segment of the podcast, go to gilded.gg/Sinister. Pack in the application put from the podcast. There's a section just for last call questions. There's also one for Sinister Tales. If you want to put your story of things that go bump in the night for us to talk about and go over on the podcast, feel free to share that. As well as there's episode chat and other channels that you can talk, as well as my streaming stuff. You can come talk about games, hang out, and just chat with me there. Highly recommend it. Go join that. You can also find us on social media and submit your last call question that way at Sippin With Sin, SIPPIN with Sin on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Threads, and Twitter. You can do it that way also. Sippin With Sin podcast comes out every Wednesday, 8 a.m. Central Time on all audio platforms. Pretty much, I believe, Apple, Spotify, Overcast, Anchor.fm, yeah, all that stuff. 8 a.m. 8 a.m. Wow, 8 a.m. Central Time every Wednesday. I don't know why that was hard just then. I completely short-circuited. Every Wednesday. That's right, every Wednesday. And the video version comes out on my personal YouTube at 8 a.m. every Wednesday Central Time. On youtube.com/IamSinister, so go thumbs up that, subscribe to it on the audio versions if that's what you're listening. Be sure to follow, subscribe, share it, rate it 5 stars to show it love. Help us continue to grow our audience. We would greatly, greatly appreciate it. You can find me on my personal socials at IamSinisterTV on Twitter, Instagram, and Threads. At that handle, you can find me on TikTok at the same handle, IamSinisterTV, and then you can find me streaming on kick.com/IamSinister. Go follow, say hello over there. Would love to hear from you. Let me know if you eventually would like the podcast to be live, us to film it live over there as well. And then you can also find me on twitch.tv/IamSinisterTV and facebook.com/IamSinisterTV. That's where you can find me, Christian. Well, before that, buy GFUEL and use code Sinister to save money because it's good. And look at that. Look at that Attack on Titan one. How sick is that? And the Resident Evil, Las Plagas. Hear that? That's awesomeness. All right, Christian, where can other folks find you?
Las Plagas, Gloria, Las Plagas. You guys can find me on my personal Instagram at Venom Inc. You guys can also find me on my horror channel's Twitter, which is Horrorverse Pod. I will be posting more on that soon. Got some live stuff going on right now, but I will be back. And aside from that, guys, you can find me on TikTok at my full name, Christian Vincent, where I like to post movie and book reviews, all horror. Well, not all horror. The books are horror, but the movies are miscellaneous, if you will. I'm going to be doing a lot more horror coming up soon, especially as we get closer and closer to spooky season. I think what I will do is every couple of days I will pick a movie or ask you guys a movie you'd like me to watch that film, and then do a quick review on it on TikTok. I will be accepting any and all suggestions, even if it's something that you've heard us talk about here on this pod. I would still like to do reviews for you guys on TikTok. I know you guys like that, so I want to keep that up for you. And if you have other content that you want to see, let me know in the comment section below of all of this that I just mentioned and this one as well. But that's where you guys can find me, and come say hi. I'm always available.
And I think we should start a new segment, guys and gals, if you'd like us to start a new segment, where we take a couple of horror movies and I describe them badly. We see if Christian can figure them out. Or
It'd be
get
hilarious.
pissed off.
And so a little irritating, but I'm down 100%.
Prom queen gets mad.
What?
We should, if you would love us to do that, let us know in the comments. Maybe we can make a fun little segment as we get close to spooky season. I know we're going to plan some very, very spooky content around that and discussions going into it, and it'll probably be starting very, very soon. Very, very soon.
Absolutely.
But that's it for this episode. You don't have to go home, but you got to get the hell out of here. We appreciate you being here for another week, listening this long, and we will see you guys next week, okay? It's time for Christian to shut it down, so let's do that.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Sipping With Sin. Be sure to leave a 5-star review. Click the like button. If you guys are listening on Apple Podcasts, if you're listening on Spotify, please be sure to leave a 5-star review. Those reviews help us so much. Even if you've left a review before, tell your friends so they can leave reviews. Leave all the reviews. Make sure the 5 stars. I will actually start reading those reviews here live on the podcast as well, letting you guys know those reviews as
Great
well.
idea.
But before you guys leave, I'm going to leave you with 3 words. 3 words to leave you with every week. If you are new to the podcast, listen carefully because those words will save your life. But if you have been here, say those words with me. Here we go. Don't get gutted.
See you guys next week.